Cheryl, we're here in Burlington, Vermont. You're homeless, pregnant, couch surfing. Tell me about it.
So I had an apartment, and I was dating this gentleman that was a little abusive, and he got removed from the residence, and then I couldn't afford the rental unit any longer, so I moved into the shelter. Then I met a guy at the shelter where I was staying, and I thought he was a good guy. We got into a relationship, and the guy ended up sexually assaulting me, and I didn't know that he was addicted to crack. And so I confronted him about the assault and about his crack use. He decided to choose to continue to smoke crack, tried to convince me that when you're in a relationship you owe somebody sex, which is BS. And then I decided to leave the relationship after my son was born. He's going to be a year in October. I don't have custody of him because the state said that he would be in danger because I'm homeless. So he's with my family. They've adopted him. And I don't get to see him. I miss him terribly. And so
It's got to be horrible.
I got another apartment through a guy that I've known him and his wife for 15 years, this guy Brian. And I was living there, and he didn't tell the landlord I was living there. He works for Omega, the landscapers, and I guess the house they had was a known drug house for crack. I didn't know that, and the doors got kicked in before I moved in. And no one told me that about the house, that the house was being watched or anything. So I move into the house thinking, great, this is a great opportunity, $500 a month, no deposit, I thought it was great. I had a great roommate, I thought, these little things started happening, like he started, not having any money ever. He started eating my food. He started, asking me for soap, and he just didn't ever have anything. So then I was about to get a washer and dryer purchase when I'd saved up the money, because that's, I got a bed first, and I got some stuff, and then I was gonna get a washer and dryer, and that didn't work out. The next day, as I was coming to town to purchase everything, he told me, you need to pack your stuff and get out. The landlord said that there's been too much heat at the house, and the heat that was coming to the house was him bringing the crack dealer over to the house.
Wow.
And he lied to the landlord and said it was me. So I called the landlord and left a message and said, listen, if you test him, he will test positive for crack cocaine. You need to figure out who you're renting to. So the landlord got mad, and now the landlord knows that he's a crackhead and hasn't booted him out of the residence. And instead, I'm being forced out of the residence with nowhere to go. Lost my futon that I just bought, lost my bed, lost my clothes, lost everything that I had. And so now I am with a new somebody, and I am...
When did you finally figure out where?
And I am pregnant, and
So you didn't spend any time on the street?
I spent a few nights on the street. When I was 18 and 19, I camped out on Rock Point. I'm 33 now, and that was during it was 90 something. It was an ice storm, and I stayed on Rock Point through the whole ice storm. That was like forever ago, and I actually got beat while I was dealing with living out there.
So what's it like couch surfing?
Well, I don't like it because I feel like I'm a waste of space. I feel very depressed. You can't come and go as you like. You have to be on their schedule and their time, and it just sucks. I mean, I want to have something that's my own, and from the start, my life goes way, way back to how I'm homeless and in this situation. I was in state's custody as a child, and
Foster care.
the state was abusive, like the foster home was humiliating and abusive to me. And as studies have shown today, research and everything that they know, psychologists know, children that have been sexually assaulted at a young age need to get treatment as soon as possible. You need to deal with it. My foster parents told me it was all just a dream, it wasn't real, that it never happened to me, and they never got me treatment. Then to deal with it, I overheard the parents, I overheard like all the adults, because me and the other oldest girl would sneak around and, you know, eavesdrop on the adult conversations, and they would talk about all of us kids, and they would say that each case, and they knew that I was really messed up and traumatized from the sexual assault that happened to me, and they did nothing. All they did to condition me and make sure that I could be prepared for the world was she used to have me stand at one end of the driveway and one of the kids would stand at the other end, and I had to yell and as loud as I could, and if I couldn't yell loud enough and if they couldn't hear me, I had to wear these clothes that had like a little tag that said foster child on it.
Oh my gosh.
And I went to Colchester, so kids were pretty mean in Colchester,
I'm
and
so sorry.
they made fun of you and picked on you. You're wearing rags, you know, in a yuppie school. So then that was part of the humiliation that happened. Then she would make me, like, I couldn't laugh, I couldn't cry, I couldn't show emotion, like my body was numb.
Wow.
What I went through was horrific. Like, I was sexually assaulted every day, multiple times a day, from the time I was born until I was 7 years old,
so
maybe
sorry.
8. And it was various different people. I didn't know who to trust. I was completely so scared. And I've talked to at least 9 different lawyers, and they all said if I have $7,000 retainer fee, then I could sue the state for what they did to me and possibly get my rights back to my son. They didn't take my rights. I signed over them for adoption, just because I didn't want them to take my rights in case future children, because that looks bad, and because I wanted to do the right thing for my son, and I really do honestly love him. And if my situation, having nothing, is going to put him in jeopardy, I love him to death, and I want the best for him, and he deserves it, because he is just an innocent child. And my mother went through depression when she got raped. I witnessed my mom being raped when I was little.
So, what's your future like? I mean, briefly, what's your future like?
Not really sure at this point. Right now, I'm hoping to find part-time work. I'm looking for an apartment, and I'm not sure. I don't know.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
Well, the first one, I would probably wish for my son to not die, because he had open heart surgery and he has a huge heart problem. So I would wish for him to live and just be happy. And I would probably wish that nobody in the world ever has to suffer the way I have. I don't wish that on anyone, nobody, not even the people that did that to me. And then my third wish would probably be that nobody ever has to be as hungry as I am right this minute.
We'll help you out with some food. Thank you very much for talking to me.